Hi everyone, this is Helen and welcome to Modern Pepper. And happy 2019! And I want to start off by saying how thankful and how grateful I am to every single one of you for subscribing to my channel because I finally reached 1,000 subscribers. Really sincerely, I want to thank every single one of you for subscribing to my channel and becoming Modern Peppers. Yes, you are now officially Modern Peppers because sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to a black hole and nobody's listening, nobody's watching. And it's hard, but you guys are inspiring me and I can't thank you enough how much this means to me that I finally achieved 1,000. I know it's really nothing compared to other, channels that have like gazillion subscribers. But for me, achieving this 1,000 subscribers is really just, it makes me emotional. Oh, I'm just so thankful. I'm so grateful for going on this journey with me and being with me and cooking with me. And hopefully I made you laugh along the way here and there because cooking shouldn't be serious. Cooking should be delicious, cooking should be doable, and cooking should be just simply, yummy. Anyway, I want to thank every single one of you for loving Korean food, for being interested in Korean food, for cooking Korean food. So thank you. And I want to say 진심으로 감사합니다, 여러분. Alright, so today we will be making Korean instant ramen noodles. Today, I'm going to be sharing tips with you on how to make instant ramen noodles, and I'm going to share a tip with you that I learned from a legendary hole-in-the-wall restaurant in Korea that makes instant ramen only. I mean, they don't really have anything else on the menu other than that, and it's one of those places where it's like tiny. There's like scribbles and marks all over the walls because it's just been there forever, and it's just all they do is make simple instant ramen noodles. So I am so excited to share that tip with you. And you know what? The month of January is perfectly ideal to have instant ramen noodles because I don't know about you, but for me, and I'm sure many of you out there is in the same boat as me, you kind of went overboard and spent a lot and indulged a lot over the holidays. So now the month of January is when you need to kind of buckle down, not spend money anymore because you have to pay off the bills from the holidays. Yeah, I know the responsibilities of paying bills is so not fun, but it must be done. So there's a Korean saying where you have to eat instant ramen noodles for a month because you overspent. So this month, I think, is a great month to share this instant ramen recipe with you. So let's get started. Today, we're gonna make 2 instant ramen noodles. One is using Sapporo Ichiban. It's the non-spicy version that we'll make together. And then the second version, we're gonna make it spicy with kimchi and other vegetables, which I will get to in a little bit. I wanna quickly go over my favorite ramyeon with you. Now, instant ramen noodles, or ramyeon in Korean, it's pronounced as ramyeon. So the first one is not Korean, but the reason why I share this is because if you grew up here in the States and you're roughly around my age, around 21, sometimes I minus a couple decades off my age, so what? So 21 plus a couple decades. Anyway, so Sapporo Ichiban Ramen Noodles, so you have to get the original. It also comes in chicken flavor and shrimp flavor, but those two, original is what you want to get. This is my childhood snack. So I grew up where my parents would buy a box of these and I would break it up into pieces like so in the bag. And then it comes with 1 soup packet. Cut this off and then you pour it in here. You kind of hold the top and you shake it. If you've never had this, oh my God, I am so happy to share this with you because it is an ultimate snack that is so good. I mean, you think potato chips are good? This is just as good, I think. I mean, potato chips, it's a tough decision, but I guess that's a good problem to have. It's so good that when I go on road trips with my children, and I have 3 boys that are super loud, super gives me, meltdowns and headaches because they're so loud. They fight over airspace. I mean, they fight over everything that you could imagine in the world. He's looking in my direction, so they're gonna have a World War III over that. And I know many of you out there with children could completely empathize with me. Please drop me a line and let me know that I'm not alone in this agony of parenting. Though I love my children very much, but they are a pain in my butt at times. And then you take it out. I mean, it's kind of is a little messy, but you eat it like this. This is so good that even my children that are connoisseurs of potato chips would rather have a bag of Sapporo Ichiban over a bag of chips. Why? It's salty, it's crunchy, and it's all like white flour noodles, and you know, we don't have to get into details of the nutrients, but it's so good that I threaten my children every time we go on road trips like, hey, if you guys can't keep it together and stop fighting, I will not give you Sapporo Ichiban. Then they're like, okay, mom. So, but it's not only just for children either. Grown-ups should love this too. I know there's also a Korean brand out there where it's called Busha Busha, and it's basically this, but they made it into more of a snack form. Personally, in my opinion, this is way better because that one, Busha Busha, it tastes more sweet. This is really not at all sweet. It's just like perfectly balanced saltiness. It's so good. Then I have to finish this. I mean, it's so good. Talk about an afternoon snack. This is it. I mean, please give it a try and let me know what you thought. And for those of you who totally grew up like me, eating this as your childhood after school snack, like you would run home and then you would have this, please drop me a line. Let me know that we are fellow snackers of Sapporo Ichiban. Anyway, this also cooked is delicious. So this is my all-time favorite. And you're probably saying, where do I get all this stuff? Because I don't live near a Korean market. That's okay, because I will have links for all the ramen noodles that we're going over today on my blog at modernpepper.com, and I will have the link for that blog in the description box below, so check it out. The second one is called SamYang, and this is Korea's original very first ramen noodles. I remember having this as a little kid. You know, this is really good, and if you want to try the OG, the very first original Korean ramen noodles, this is it, SamYang Ramen Noodles. The noodles are a little bit different. It's slightly thicker. So Sapporo Ichiban comes with one soup packet, that's it. This one comes with two. One is your powder mix that you add to the broth, and the second one, I'm going to open it for you so I could just show you, is basically, and this is very typical for instant ramen noodles, it comes with these dehydrated vegetables, usually scallions and a little bit of carrots and sometimes some pepper. For me personally, I hate adding this. It just makes me feel like I'm eating dried paper even after I put it in the soup and cook it. So I like to add fresh scallions, which makes a world of difference. I mean, a world of difference. The fresh smell and the herb taste of fresh scallions. I mean, you must have fresh scallions when you make ramen noodles, in my opinion. My third favorite is Neoguri. The noodles are a little bit thicker than these two guys. It's not as thick as udon noodles, but when you cook it, it is significantly thicker than your typical ramen noodles. So if you want the taste of a little bit thicker noodles, Neoguri is it. And the soup base for this is supposed to be seafood base, but it doesn't really have that strong seafood taste. I highly recommend this. And again, same thing. This comes with the soup powder packet that you add, and the same thing as this. It comes with, you know, dehydrated scallion flakes, which I don't like to add, but you could add if you like. On to everyone's favorite Korean instant ramen noodles, or the one that's uber popular, Shin Ramen. This is Shin Ramen. This is Shin Ramen Black. And for some of you are like, whoa, what is Shin Ramen Black? So basically, this is sort of the original. This is an upgrade, you know, and this costs slightly more. It's probably double the price almost. The noodles for the regular versus the black are the same, okay? The difference is in the soup packets. Just like the other two that we just went over, it comes with the soup packet powder, and it comes with the dehydrated scallions and a few other vegetables. And these are called kondegi. You could add this if you like, and of course I always don't like to. I don't even bother with it. Now, what makes black Shin Ramen so extra special is that it comes with 3 packages. So one is the same thing. It's the dehydrated vegetable vegetables. This one has a little bit of, you know, mushrooms and scallions and some other vegetables, but same thing. It's just like, you know, dehydrated vegetable. It comes with 2 powder mixes. This is your spicy powder mix. This one has the soup-based powder mix for seolleongtang, which is a Korean bone marrow broth. The broth using these 2 packets is significantly better than this. But this takes it to another level. This soup, when you make it, it has a little bit less of that sort of instant powder soup taste. This one still tastes a little bit like you're eating instant powder soup, but that's why we love ramyeon too, right? We know that we're not eating like homemade broth or soup, that we're eating instant powder soup. So, but this one has a smoother taste. The broth is a bit less, you know, instant powdery taste, and it's smoother, a little bit more depth of flavor because it has the second packet that it really enhances the taste of your broth versus the single one. But they're both so good. I mean, I'm drooling in my mouth thinking about how delicious these are. It's up to you. You could splurge and pay double the price, or you could just get the standard one, which will just as satisfying and super yummy. So it really is up to you. Now with Korean ramen noodles or ramyeon, every household has ramyeon. I mean, this is your staple, like go to, like, okay, we just ran out of rice, or I don't want to really cook, or I don't have time to cook. Everyone has a few packets of ramyeon, and you know, it's a staple Korean fast food that everyone enjoys. So if you have not tried Korean ramyeon, you must really give it a try because it's a very low budget meal that really hits the spot and that is super yum. So let's get started. I want to make a quick announcement that next week's video we will be making budae-jjigae. Budae-jjigae is army troop stew. It's a legendary stew that was born at the army station, and it has become a legend of its own in its super deliciousness. So we will be making that next week, so make sure to subscribe because it really is super simple to make. I mean, it's almost as easy as making instant ramen noodles, and it is a really yummy dish to share with friends and family. I know I'm drooling in my mouth thinking about how delicious that is. So I'm excited to share that recipe with you. So make sure to click on that subscribe button over there at the corner. It says subscribe, click on that so that you will be notified when I upload the video to make budae-jjigae because it is super yum. So I look forward to baking that with you next week. I don't feed my children ramen often, it's once in a while, but you know, especially if I'm away from the house, like if I'm in Tahoe, I really don't want to go up to Tahoe and like make a meal from scratch. I mean, who wants to? After a long day of skiing with little people in the mountain that drive you bonkers, although we do have fun moments together. So this is my go-to, like when I'm traveling and I just don't want to cook and I don't want to really spend like all this money on getting takeouts. I mean, takeouts are getting so expensive these days. Anywho, these are a few ingredients that I like to add to enhance the taste of ramyeon. So I have a slice of ham. And for those of you that are not pork friendly, you could use turkey. For my vegetarian friends, you could use tofu turkey, or don't add any if you don't want to. But I always like to add a little bit of protein so I feel a little less guilty eating it. So I just cut them into strips like so. Like that. And then I'm gonna put it on my plate right here. And then I have 1 scallion. Cut the root end off, discard, cut it at a biased angle like so. There we go, all done. And I guarantee you, adding fresh scallions versus the kondegi or the dehydrated, you know, vegetables will make a world of difference. You know, when you have ramyeon, typically, at least in Korean food culture, we always add an egg. And then this is optional, just a little bit of corn, just to add some color and a little bit of sweetness, and that's it. Now, to make our spicy kimchi ramen using Shin Ramen, we need the following ingredients. So same thing as Ichiban, 1 slice of ham that I cut into strips like so, 1 egg, 1 scallion cut in a biased angle like so. And we need some 콩나물. These are soybean sprouts. And 콩나물 is a very economical vegetable that is used in Korean cooking. So 콩나물 무침 is a very popular Korean side dish called banchan. And if you have not seen that video, please do check it out because making 콩나물 side dish or banchan is uber easy. And it's so healthy, it's crunchy, and it's filling. So if you're looking to kind of curb your calorie intake, this is it, and it will really make you feel like you had something really substantial without consuming extra calories. So I highly recommend 콩나물. So make sure to check out that video. But we're gonna add about 2 cups of 콩나물 to our ramyeon. And you know what? 콩나물 will really make the soup taste super refreshing. It will also mask the taste of that powdery instant soup taste. Really, really good. We also need kimchi. So I'm using kimchi that's not cut. So when you go to the Korean market, you could buy kimchi that's pre-sliced called mak kimchi, or you could buy pogi kimchi where it comes intact. It has not been cut and the root end is still intact. So I cut off 3 leaves, and what we're gonna do is just tear them up into long strips like this. I mean, my grandmother used to do this for me when I was really little. If you've never had, I'm like swallowing my own saliva in my mouth because this smells so good. So when you have kimchi like this in strips, you're eating the entire part of the leaf, the crunchy part and then the leafy part. And as you could imagine, the crunchy part here is watery, it's less salty, and it just gives you this like extra yummy juice taste. And then the bottom part here, where it's leafy, is a bit more saltier and spicier in taste because all the ingredients of pepper flakes and everything attaches to the bottom. But what you want to do is, I want you to try this at home if you haven't tried it. You kind of roll it up like this, and my grandmother used to do this for me. And you put the whole thing in your mouth. Oh boy, it's so good. Kimchi's so good. Kimchi's so good. Yum. So you're getting the taste of the entire leaf like that. So I have 3 leaves. Cut them into strips like so using your hands. It's just fun to eat it like this with the noodles later, which I will show you. And you're like, what is this? So if you've seen my other videos, I always use these disposable kitchen gloves because, you know, I'm a mom of 3 and I'm always washing my hands a lot. So when I cook, I try not to touch acidic stuff. If you are interested in these gloves, make sure to check out my blog at modernpepper.com. And this goes for all of my video recipes. Every recipe has a separate blog that includes a detailed list of all the ingredients as well as written recipe instructions and online links for the Korean ingredients as well as suggested kitchen gadgets. So make sure to check out my blog for this recipe, and I will have that link for you in the description box below. So the beauty of using these is, look, I take it off and I toss and my hands are super clean. And it doesn't smell like kimchi, which is great because I don't want to smell like kimchi. I'll eat it because I love it, but I don't want to smell like it. Who does? And the final touch is Korean 깻잎. These are called perilla leaves. And 깻잎 in Korean cooking is sort of equivalent to what parsley is for Italian cooking, and you top it on stews and soups, and you also use it to make lettuce wraps. And you could also deep fry these and stuff it with a little bit of ground beef and deep fry it, and it's so good. Anyway, this smells wonderful. It sort of smells like parsley slash basil slash a little bit of that nutty taste that you get from lettuce. So it's a combination of that smell and taste, but it's so fragrant. So we're gonna garnish our kimchi ramyeon with fresh perilla leaves. And you know, you could use as little as you want or as much as you want, but I'm gonna use 3. So what you wanna do is, after you wash it, roll it up like so, cut the stem end off and discard. And you just wanna cut like that. Almost done. Here we go. So you have like strips of 깻잎 like this. Oh, this smells so good. This is like so great on salads too. This is making me really hungry. Okay, so let's get started on making our ramen. Bring 2.5 cups of water to boil. Add your noodles and your soup powder, and then mix it. And let that cook on high heat for a good 2 minutes. It's been good 2 minutes, and now we're gonna add our ham strips in here. And of course you could use Spam or hot dog, Vienna sausage, whatever you like. And just mix it. Now you wanna stir, and your noodles should now look ready. So it's been a total of less than 3 minutes, and just taste it. It should be slightly chewy. So what I'm gonna do is lower the heat. You wanna take your noodles, just the noodles, and put it in your serving bowl like that. Ham could come out now. Turn the heat back on high, and we're gonna poach our egg in the broth. So add your egg in here, and we're gonna put the lid on it and let that go for 60 seconds. And while the egg's being poached, what you need to do quickly is do what I'm doing. Pick up your noodles and let it get exposed to the air. So we're letting out all the steam and cooling down the noodles. So this legendary Ramyeon place in Korea, what they do is they have a hair dryer, and they pick up the noodles like this, and they take a hair dryer, put it on cold setting, and they're literally cooling down the noodles with like cold hair blow dryer. So you could do that at home if you're that ambitious, but I'm not. When it comes to ramyeon, not that ambitious to go grab a hair dryer. So just make sure you kind of toss, and you're releasing all the steam from the noodles, and this will make your ramen noodles taste really chewy. And in Korean, we say 쫄깃쫄깃한 맛. It's been almost 60 seconds since we've been tossing our noodles like so. The egg's in there. I like to poach it so that the yolk is still kind of soft inside. And if you want to cook the yolk longer, leave it in there for another minute. I'm gonna take out the egg. Ooh. So just imagine your egg being poached in this delicious broth like so, and put it in the center. Now, your heat is still at high. At our corn, we just want to warm it up in the broth. The natural taste of the corn will enhance the taste of your broth. And then we're gonna add our scallions in here and just literally blanch it, 10-15 seconds at most. All right, so our scallion and corn has been blanching nicely for 10 seconds. I'm gonna turn the heat off, and using my strainer, take out the green onions, put it here in one side. Then I'm gonna pick up the rest with the corn. Now, some people like to add sugar to the ramyeon. I'm like, oh, at that point, might as well just throw in some M&Ms in there. I mean, seriously. But anyway, if you add some corn in here, it will make the broth taste slightly sweeter, but not that much. And now I'm gonna pour the liquid in here. Ooh, look at that. Yum. Oh, yum, look at that. I mean, doesn't this look great for instant noodles that cost like less than $1 or $1.25 for a packet of Ichiban noodles? All right, so here is a little treat for you. I'm gonna open my egg and let you see the beautiful colors. Look at that. It's still soft inside. Do you see that? Oh, yum. So with instant ramen noodles, you have to consume it right away. There's a huge difference if you eat it right away within like 2 minutes of cooking versus if you waited 5 minutes, night and day. 5 minutes later, it'll be like mushy, bloated, just salty carb floating with a little bit of liquid. And these noodles tend to soak up all the broth super quickly, so you have to eat it right away. You can't just like go and check your email or surf the internet and come back in a couple minutes. Then it's not gonna be good. So I'm gonna first start with the broth. Ooh. So good. The broth, I know it's instant powder broth, but it's still so good. It's just like perfectly salty. Oh, this is so good. So when you eat noodles, in Korean culture at least, it is absolutely okay to slurp. So I'm gonna put a little bit of scallion, ham, and then have a little slurp. Cheers, everyone. It is so hitting the spot right now. And then you have to have your creamy egg. And the egg is so nicely salted because we poached it in the broth. Oh, the egg's so good. Oh, yum. And when you eat ramyeon, at least in Korean food culture, you have to have it with kimchi. If you don't, it's like, you know, it's like scratching that itch, but you're not getting the full itch. That's my analogy. So in order to successfully scratch that itch and feel completely satisfied, you need to have it with kimchi. So If you haven't watched my video on how to properly ferment and store your store-bought kimchi when you bring it home, watch that video, because kimchi is not meant to go straight into the refrigerator when you bring it home. And I share tips on how to enhance the fermentation process and also how to store your kimchi properly. So check out that video. It's so good. I'm gonna have another bite. I mean, I'm telling you, the scallions make the noodles taste so yummy and delicious. I know. There's some of you saying, Helen, what about that, you know, Korean yellow aluminum looking pot that people use in dramas to make ramyeon? You could certainly purchase that, and I will have links for you to purchase that on my blog, so make sure to check it out too. And the story behind the yellow pot is sort of for your bachelor, where they don't even want to bother with putting in a serving bowl, and it's like a one-pot meal, and you just eat it straight from the pot. You use your lid to sort of blow on it and cool down your noodles. It becomes like a serving plate, and you eat off of it like this. And it's okay to slurp. It is absolutely okay to slurp when you have noodles in Korean culture. So yummy, so delicious. All right, so I have to share another tip with you. So after you eat most of your noodles, you could add some rice. And you're like, what? Yeah, I grew up where I would eat this whole thing. I would take some rice and then I would put it in the broth and mix it all up and eat it. And I'm gonna put a little bit of the corn, scallion, and the egg, like so, with some broth. This is gonna be so good. It's like a medley of yumminess in my mouth. Now, Korean rice is completely different from other Asian rice, so make sure to check out my video on how to make Korean rice. Koreans, we tend to take our rice a little bit seriously in that we like to make it super healthy too, so you can use brown rice and a variety of different grains of rice. And we like to also add protein to it by adding a variety of beans. So if you want to take your rice to another level and make it super yummy and healthy, check out that video. But I get it, not everyone has time to make rice from scratch. I completely get it, I get it. So the alternative is to get these pre-made Korean rice. You just nuke it in the microwave and it comes out tasting like freshly made rice. It is really, really yummy. I don't know how they did it, but it's so good. So alternatively, you could finish off your ramyeon with this. I mean, something as simple as ramyeon really satisfies my soul. And you know, my husband doesn't cook, you know, unfortunately. I have to say, I have to give him some credit that he is an expert when it comes to microwaving. I mean, no matter how janky the microwave is, he figures it out and he times it perfect. So I give him credit for that. But otherwise, he really doesn't know how to cook, or he pretends to not know how to cook, so I cook all the time. Maybe that's what he's doing. Demonstrating incompetency so he doesn't have to cook. But once in a while he does make ramyeon, and he makes the Sapporo Ichiban Original Ramen. And my kids are like, Dad, you're the best chef in the world. You make the best noodles in the world. Dad, this is so good. Yeah, this is that good. So if you haven't tried it, Sapporo Ichiban, really, really yummy. Try it. All right, I'm gonna have this last bite and then we'll be tasting our kimchi ramen next. And the corn with a little bit of the egg and the broth. I mean, like the corn just like pops in your mouth and it releases a little bit of that natural sweet taste with the broth and everything together. Partay in your mouth. So yum. Okay. I would finish this, but I have to save room for my kimchi ramen. I know, this is so good, but oh well. Okay, kimchi ramen next. Bring 3 cups of water to boil. We're gonna add our kimchi that we pulled into strips. There's a little bit of kimchi juice, just pour it in there. Your heat remains at high, and I'm gonna add the soup powder packets. I'm using the Shin Ramen Black Label, and then I'm gonna add the noodle, and then just kind of squish it down, and let this cook for 2 minutes on super high. Okay, it's been 2 minutes, and our noodles and kimchi is cooking really nice. The noodles still kind of, halfway cooked. So we're gonna add our 콩나물 soybean sprouts in here. And push it down and try to put the noodles and kimchi on top so that the soybeans are in the broth, like so. And then we're gonna add our strips of ham that we cut up. And normally I don't put lids on when I make ramyeon, but when I add 콩나물 soybean sprouts, I always put the lid on. Let that go for 60 seconds on super high heat. All right, it's been 60 seconds. Ooh, it smells so good. We're gonna put everything in here except the broth. The broth remains in the pot, and we're gonna pour everything out onto our serving bowl. Oh, look at that broth. That broth looks really good. And then we're gonna put this back on the stove, and we're gonna take our 1 egg and we're gonna poach it in this broth. Put the lid back on and let that go on super high heat for 60 seconds. And while that is cooking, we're gonna do the same thing we did with the Sapporo Ichiban noodles, and we're just gonna let the steam escape by pulling up the noodles like so. Oh, the smell of this is incredible. The kimchi broth smell, and then you can smell this freshness of the soybean sprouts. This is gonna be so crunchy. So yummy. Oh boy. So do this for 60 seconds to continually cool down our noodles. Okay, it's been 60 seconds. And we're gonna pull our egg out. Ooh, look at that. It's still so soft in the center. Oh, yum. And we're gonna put this back on the stove and add our scallions. And we're just gonna let that blanch in there for like 10 seconds. All right, it's been 10 seconds. I'm gonna turn the heat off. And then take out the blanched scallions, put it next to the egg, like so. And then we're gonna pour our broth. Ooh la la, oh my goodness, the broth is gonna be so yummy. Look at that. Ooh. And then we're gonna garnish with our 깻잎. Perilla leaves that we cut up earlier, like so. And now that the perilla leaves are hitting the hot broth, it's just now perfuming the entire room. It smells so good. I'm gonna move this to the side. I'm gonna show you how delicious our egg is. Look at that. I'm gonna split it open for you so you can see. Look at that. It's oozing out. It's gonna be so good with the broth. Oh, yum. I wish you could smell this. So I use the black Shin Ramen, and you could use the standard one too, but the broth for Shin Ramen Black Label is really good. That's good. For me, it has like the perfect amount of heat and saltiness. The broth tastes so clean, and it doesn't taste like instant powdery taste, And it's because of the soybean sprouts and the kimchi that we added. All right, now let's taste it. I'm like drooling in my mouth before I even have a bite. Okay, here we go. That is really good. Do you hear the crunchy sound of the soybeans, sprouts, and the kimchi in my mouth? Oh, this is so delicious. Okay, now I'm gonna have our velvety egg that we poached in our soup. For me, I like my eggs a little soft in the center, so this is perfect. Oh my God, this egg is so yum. I'm gonna have to have another one, but this time I'm gonna have it with some broth and just the egg alone. Oh, it's so creamy. But the broth is so tasty and spicy that it's just like a good balancing act. So here's our strip of kimchi that we cut up with our hands. And we're just gonna have another bite. So it's really fun to eat it like this. Like you're having long strips of kimchi that you tore with your hands, and then you're having crunchy soybean sprouts with all these vegetables. This is like one of my favorite ways to have ramyeon. I wish I could share this with you. It's so good. And then just like have more broth. And like I mentioned earlier, ramen noodles, they get bloated really quickly. So again, just like the first one we made, you need to consume this within 2 minutes of making it or eat it right away. And the broth will disappear too, because these noodles tend to soak up all the broth real quickly. So you have to consume this right away. And here's some rice, Korean rice. I'm gonna have some rice with it. So, you know, the deal is you finish most of your noodles or all of your noodles and you're still a little hungry, then the second course is having it with some Korean rice. I mean, it's such a good combination. So good. Again, this one comes in white rice and brown rice, and I have the brown rice. I mean, nothing beats making fresh rice at home, but this comes pretty close. So if you could make your own rice, make sure to have some rice handy so you could have it with your ramyeon soup. Otherwise, get some of these, and I always keep these in the house too, just in case, you know, I really am so tired, I really don't want to cook, and I need a little bit of rice. I always grab one of these. So today we made 2 different kinds of ramyeon. This is the non-spicy one, perfect for little kids who are not ready for spicy food, as well as grown-ups that really don't like spicy food. This will hit the spot. Now, if you are craving something spicy and you want to take it up a notch, then you add some kimchi and soybean sprouts with few other ingredients, and I guarantee you, you're going to fall in love with having Korean instant ramen this way. And you know what? The best way to have ramen noodles is in front of the TV. I would turn on my favorite, whatever trashy reality show to documentary, whatever you fancy. Make a big bowl of ramen noodles and you sit in front of the TV and just enjoy the evening that way. I mean, it's so delicious, it hits the spot, it's super inexpensive, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, I would greatly appreciate a thumbs up, so make sure to click on that thumbs up icon. And lastly, I want to kindly ask you to please subscribe to my channel. You know, your subscription means the world to me, and I want to thank all of my subscribers again for helping Modern Pepper achieve this huge milestone of making it to 1,000, and I hope to reach the next milestone with you. So please make sure to subscribe by clicking on that subscribe button you see at the corner right there. Click on that, because next week we will be making budae-jjigae. It's your legendary army troop stew. It was born out of necessity of trying to put together a spicy stew using whatever they had in the pantry at the army station. But now it has become a legend of its own, so make sure to subscribe so we can make that together. I want to thank you again for watching, and I will see you next Thursday, because every Thursday is the day that I upload new video. And until next time, happy instant ramen time with your family and friends. So until then, bye now.